All right, y'all. Welcome to episode 50 of Music in the Minor League. We're really glad to have made it this far, man. And this week we were joined by Jessica Murillo from Cactus Flowers. If you've not heard, man, you're really missing out on. They're a great local band that tours, put out 2 great records and an EP. Their newest one's called Elation. Just absolutely stellar record. We were really grateful to get to sit down with Jessica and talk about her path in music. I mean, she played when she was young. She went off to college and did entertainment business and entertainment law. She left college and went to work for Daisy Rock Girl Guitars, which was absolutely cool, man. A lot of good stories from that. And then she started Cactus Flowers, which has been one of the top bands in Houston as far as we're concerned. So we hope you'll enjoy the interview as much as we enjoyed talking to her, man. It really is a good one. We've been chasing this one for a bit, and a lot of things have happened, and we were grateful we got to make it our 50th episode because we feel like it was a pretty good landmark for us. So before we start, as always, get to the housekeeping. First things up, if you like the podcast, tell some friends about it, post it online, man. Help us get the word out. We don't do this. We do no advertising or anything like that. We don't get paid for it. We're not trying to. We're just trying to get the word out and help bands out that we love, man. People we appreciate from our scene. That's really what you can do as an independent musician, is help bring folks up, man. It's really important. 2, if you want to be a guest on the podcast, hit us up. You can DM us online or anything like that. The only thing you're an active band that, has recordings and you're out playing shows. That's really the only thing we ask, and we'll give you a good interview, man. Or at least, we'll try to give you a good interview. We'll do our best. All right, now to the band part of the housekeeping. Cactus Flowers is heading out on a Midwestern tour here shortly. The dates have yet to be posted, but check out their socials. And then they're going to be heading out west as well. So they have quite a few things coming up. Jessica talks a little bit about it in the episode. So be sure to keep an eye out on those. Follow them on social media. Go to Bandcamp and pick up on their records. Get on their mailing list, all that, because you're going to want to know, man. They're a great band. They're heading all the way up to Detroit and back. So you're going to want to be able to see them, man. It's going to be a good show. As far as we're concerned, well, we just got back home, man. That's exciting for us. We've been out on the road. We went all the way up in the Northeast, had a great time. And now that we're back home, tomorrow we're going to be heading over to Union Tavern. That is September 5th. For those of you who may have been catching this on the second day it's been out, we'll be over there with Grifters and Shills, part of their Bedlam and Ballad series they started doing once a month. On September 14th, we'll be over at Mod Coffee House in Galveston, Texas. We love Mod, man. It's basically almost like a official busking gig. Be out on the sidewalk playing some tunes. There's coffee and there's ice cream next door. Come hang out and enjoy it. Afterwards, we'll be heading over to the Old Quarter to see Raw Diver, who you may remember from an earlier episode. We talked to Lauren, their vocalist, bassist, keyboardist, and various other things. So be sure to head over to that show afterwards, man. It's a good way to spend a day. September 14th. September 15th, we'll be at Dan Electro's with Sean Hess and Marty Bush. Big fans of both of these guys. It's going to be a blast, man. That's all we got for September. So let's cut it, man. Let's get through all the mess. Let's head over and listen to the interview, man. Before we get there, we're going to give you a taste of Cactus Flowers. This one's called Bad Moon Rising. It's off their new record called Elation. Hope you dig it. See you on the other side. All right, y'all, welcome to another episode of Music in the Minor League. This week we are here with Jessica Murillo of Cactus Flowers, who we were lucky enough to stumble into like a benefit show a couple years ago. I remember seeing them and I was like, it's like everything I like in a band. Like there's fuzzed out heavy guitars and drums pounding. And then there's like, and Kim would love this too because like she's a really good singer.
Right. And it's riffy. It's really catchy.
Mm-hmm. She was out of town and like she came home. I was like, you have to hear this band. Like, I think you will like them. And she did. For one time, she was like, yeah, they were great.
Cactus Flowers in rotation.
So since then, we've been hassling them and showing up to their shows and buying records and being like, oh, God, we love this band. And, finally, we're able to get you in. And this is our 50th episode. So it's kind of like got Jessica in for a landmark episode.
Hell yeah, dude.
Thanks for coming.
Congratulations.
Thank y'all. We just been trying to, get the word out on folks. So thank you for coming in and talking to us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So through our online stalking and things like that, we saw that, like, you're like, it's like being a rocker is kind of like your birthright. Like we saw your mom was a freelance photographer for Rolling Stone and Cream, and you played classical instruments and things, and then just decided to slum it with electric guitar, which I understand. It's more fun. It's more loud. And so, man, you've been spending like this is basically like your whole life has been music. So
yeah, and I was born in Detroit too, so Detroit Rock City.
Hell yeah.
Right, so that adds to it. You got the whole all the way from MC5 and the Stooges and all the great blues people before that into the White Stripes and things like that. And
hell yeah, man.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited. I have all my mom's side of the family is in Detroit, and we're going on a Midwest tour in September, but we're finally going to get to play Detroit.
Oh, awesome.
So we'll have like a full circle moment where all the family gets to like come out and see, and it'll be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. And I've still never been there. I've always wanted to go to Detroit.
Oh, it's awesome. I love Detroit.
It's I know so many people I've never been, but I got so many friends I've had over the years were in bands and stuff from there. We just met through touring, so it was weird that I've never been there. But like Jeremy Porter and the Tucos are a great like garage rock band from there, worth checking out. It's just weird, man. I'm just getting kind of bummed out.
It's a little
I've always
farther
wanted to go
north
there.
than we
Well, you gotta the downtown. They put a lot of money into like the revitalization of the city, especially the downtown area. Comerica Park. That's a great ballpark. I know y'all like baseball, so I definitely recommend checking that out. Yeah,
she knows us.
That's the main reason I've been like, I want to go to Detroit. I've never been there.
I'm thinking next year we're going to Detroit. What do you think,
I've
Kim?
never even been to Michigan. But
America's mitten, right?
so how did you end up from Detroit to Detroit to Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how the story goes. So my parents, like my mom, when she was done doing all of her stuff in California, she ended up like in Houston and met my dad. And then they got together. They had my sister in Houston. When they were pregnant with me, they moved up to Detroit. I think they lived there like a year. I was born. They decided, no, they don't like the winter. And they moved back down to Houston and then had my brother. So Houston's always been home. I just happened to like be born in Detroit.
Dang,
Gotcha.
so you're like the one non-native sibling. Wow.
Yeah, I am.
Dang, that's so...
Yeah.
But conceived in Texas, so it kind of counts.
Yeah.
It's cooler to be from Detroit when you're a rocking band.
True. That is true.
I do understand how someone from California and someone from, Houston would be like, yeah, Michigan's a bit much during the winter.
Yeah. What is this white stuff from the sky?
And it's been going for months.
Right.
Why does it stay so long?
Where's the sun? I haven't seen it.
And they made the better decision, but now with the weather here, oh my Lord, these summers are humid.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
I don't know how much longer I can take it.
I feel you on that. Oh.
That's an everyday conversation in our house. Like when and how do we move to a cooler climate? I don't even care anymore.
Yep, that is true.
I think that like as a band, we've always kind of had our eyes set on New Mexico. So I think we're going to be like, we've already have a place in Albuquerque, me and John. So we're going to try to transition to full-time living there probably in like a year or so.
Love
I think
New
it'll be
Mexico.
cool.
Yeah, it's
But we have the
gorgeous.
studio here, the recording studio here. And so at our other space in Albuquerque, we're going to build out a studio there. So we're going to have both the studios going,
I'll be super
which is
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah, the ABQdio.
Nice.
But it's nice. Like even there, we played there last summer. Like not this one, but like 2013. And even at night, like, it was
2013?
nice. Or 2023. And back in the olden days.
Back in the days.
Oh boy.
So back in 2023.
Are you too old to have a podcast?
Oh, dude. No. No, I see some of the old people having it. You know, until I have to turn into like Jon Stewart, who's got 2 young people running it for him and just like, hey.
Right, sure.
Like, I still run it all myself. I'm okay.
Producers.
I'm still my own producer. I'm not too old yet. But no, it's just the fact that it's nice at night. Like, even though it's hot during the summer, it's like you get these breaks where here it's like, it's dark, but still hot.
Dude, like, what was
Still hot and humid, yeah.
The low tonight is 76. 76, man.
And that's at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
It's still going to be like 80 at midnight. So,
Yeah, like that's what
I love
I did
Houston.
love about New Mexico, man. That nice,
cooler
cool
nights.
evening.
Yeah.
Crack the windows open, get a nice breeze coming through. I'll take it.
plus, it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
And Blake's Lotta Burger is there.
I knew that was going to come up again.
There's green chili on everything.
Hell yes, give me green chili on everything.
Everything.
So see, now we're like jealous. It's like, well, whatever. We were looking upon you favorably when we started, but now it's like
You just hurt her.
Now we're
feelings.
just jealous.
right. We're just bitter.
she's making it out to a better place.
You
Like,
mean you can get out of here?
hate. No, I'm just like,
It's just jealous.
Houston haters.
right?
God, man.
All right. So you came back, your family's in Houston. I guess when you started out playing music, do you remember, I guess, the moment when you were like, I love music and this is why I want to keep doing it?
Yeah, it's so random. So I guess it was when I started singing because I started off going to Catholic school, St. Pius V in Pasadena. And I remember singing in church and I got in trouble with the nuns because I was singing too loud because I have a very projecting voice. And so I got my hands hit with the ruler and it always kind of stifled me from singing loud or just out. And then my mom signed me up for this singing competition, and it was this is how old it was. She signed me up. It was at a Kmart, and Gitano Jeans was sponsoring it.
Ooh, classy.
And it was a chance to sing on stage with Shania Twain.
Man, I feel like a woman.
And they held the little competition in the store, and I sang my little song, and I got first runner up. But we all got to go backstage and meet her, and it was really wow. And then got to go see her play live, and for me, that was just a moment where I was like, you can do this. And then I really got into exploring my voice and singing out and then songwriting. I always was journaling and writing poems and I just kind of combined the two. I'd always loved music. I grew up, playing violin and, when I went to college, I wanted to go to a college where I could learn the most I could about being a musician full time. So I studied business and administration, and I did music management with an entertainment law minor. And it was when I got to college, I'd already gotten a guitar when I was about 13, an acoustic, but I never had an electric guitar until I went to college. I got one, and I had met someone that showed me what a fuzz pedal was, and that's kind of how I got into electric music, and then the rest is just kind of all history from there. It's just music has always been a form of expression for me that has helped me with, getting along in the world and just coping with anything I'm going through, or hopefully inspiring others with stories and messages. So yeah, music brings us together.
So question, do you remember the song you sang for the tryout?
Yeah, it was on one of her first albums. It was called What Made You Say That.
Nice.
It was her first single.
That's cool, man.
And I remember I just I didn't know what to do. So my friend was like, well, you should just step in a square. So I did a square the whole time I did it. I think that's probably why I didn't win the competition because it was so awkward.
It would have been
But
even
it taught
more
me about the importance of stage performance.
exactly.
It sounded great. That square thing was a little odd.
That's going to look really weird on stage with Shania. She doesn't like that. She doesn't like square
She
movements.
doesn't like that. No. She likes circles.
More of a rounded edge kind of person.
Twirls.
Oh my god.
See, you should have brought the dodecahedron. If you'd gone that route, you'd have won. Hands down.
I'm just thinking about the whole, because actually I knew people who went to St. Pius when I first moved to college. At least our neighbors, they went there. I'm just thinking about it's kind of cool to kind of look back and go, see what happens when I sing out, you know? It's like, take that, nun.
Yeah.
Sing out. You get to do this. You get to go rock.
You get to rock and go backstage.
This is way cooler than, you know, all the lame hymns. Like, we're out there. Shania's out there killing it. Look at all these people. Let's see.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you had a role model like that. Like, Shania to step up, like, no, sing out.
Right.
Yeah. And like, hold that note as long as you can.
Definitely.
But you can see, 'cause like I said, man, despite the loud, fuzzy guitars, like the vocals never have a problem coming through.
No, not at all.
There's no like, oh, well, I don't know. So you said someone gave you a fuzz pedal and everything. So that's one thing about it. I mean, you know, it's just trying to describe it to health. I was like, it's like doom pop psychedelia. I was like, there's like this heavier, like fuzzed out, like, you know, and then it's like you come in with your vocals and it's just like, man, like there's like a little something for everybody. So I guess as far as your guitar playing, what would you say was something that influenced you early on to kind of...
My guitar playing. Well, I think that the effects are really what drive my guitar playing because I'm a self-taught guitarist, so I've never really claimed to be the best shredder or the most proficient on guitar, but I've always enjoyed kind of like melding the different effects pedals together and trying to create like a unique tone that maybe people haven't heard before. And that's kind of, I enjoy that about like creating new guitar parts.
So there's no like, you know, I was like, I was a big Dinosaur Jr., like I was listening to this
influence. You know, I don't, when it comes to guitar, I mean, I listen to all types of music. So garage, I guess at the time when I got the fuzz pedal, I was listening to a lot of Dead Meadow and a lot of the Black Angels. And BJM. So I would say I was definitely heavy into that. And then I kind of got into like shoegazy music. And so you're right. I like to write not stuck to just one like type of sound. I like to challenge myself to write different styles of music, which just kind of goes along with like the Cactus Flowers kind of aspect of it all. It's like this beautiful plant, but you can't touch it. So it can be harsh, but it can be soft and, you know, it can be vibrant. So, yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it works out. I just thought it was cool. I'm glad it's kind of neat that it happened organically. I was like, this sounds like something like there's so much different stuff happening. It's like, this probably is an idea behind this.
Yeah, and I've never heard a woman, no offense, I've just never heard a woman say that, like, I was really into this fuzz pedal and I wanted to, you know, see all the different tones I could make with it. It's just something I normally hear dudes talking about. So it's really cool it's cool that it's not exclusive.
I feel like you're looking down your nose at us.
No,
I like that.
With our fuzz pedal.
That too, because it can be a little intimidating. Yeah. Because again, like I don't claim to be the best guitarist. That can't tell you what key I'm playing in or this to this to this. You know, I know how to use my pedals. I can't tell you in depth like all the intricate techie stuff. You can tell when I'm getting out teched off. Like my glaze is like, But I also find it like comforting to represent women in that way and be like, just who cares if you can't even describe it all, just do it.
Yeah,
make it
you
sound
make it
great.
work.
And then the guys come up to you and they're like, whoa, how'd you do that?
Well, you see, I turned this knob and then I push this button and it happens. I don't know.
Yeah, most of it is being a dude who used to play a bunch of weird effects, just lie like, dude, like we use this. It's only really this one has a special chip.
Make up some words while you're talking to
only
them.
the 94 Big Muff that has this type.
Exactly. The flux capacitor in that model is so like perfect.
And they were just like, whoa, really? It's like, yeah, that's how you end up on reverb, all 94.
Nerd.
Right. You're like,
Big Muff.
And see, I use these gold tip cables because they increase the sustain of the sound. It's a thing. And my wires are hand wound in Bangladesh. That's how they get that chimey sound.
Oh no, I like the thing I get the most, and it's almost like I love like that it frustrates people so much that I just keep doing it. Everyone's like, "Why do you not have a pedal board?" A pedal board, you know? And I'm like, I just like to individually like lay them out and spread them out, and it just like frustrates people to like a point.
Yeah, no,
and but I love it. I love that it's also like the fact that there's an S at the end of flowers, Cactus Flowers. Like people get so bent out of shape about that. They're like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, dude.
And I just think it's silly. I don't care.
Speaking of that, when I came in, I was like, "Oh, we're interviewing Cactus Flowers today," and Kim was like, "No, it's Cactus Flower."
I think it's Cactus Flowers.
No,
what
it
I
was
said.
no. It was a little more.
I think it's singular.
I think you were a little more like confident. Like it was like,
Yeah.
I definitely got a twinge of no health. You're stupid.
Well, because there's an album on top of the record player. I see it every day. So
And what does it say?
It says Cactus Flowers on it.
And did you say you assumed? What happens when we assume, Kim?
It is not singular. It is plural.
Mandela effect thing.
Just the fact that it created a whole conversation is like the whole point of why I did that. I just love it.
It's perfect. It's so good.
Aren't there cactuses that have multiple flowers on them?
Yes, they can.
Okay, I panicked for a minute. I was like,
Did you?
is it like, do cactuses only have like a, start going through my brain.
First off,
like,
it's not cactus, it's cacti. Get it right.
I'm
Cacti flowers.
Duh. Get it right.
I don't think that's how it is.
so that's it. Cactuses, flowers. That's how you do it.
No.
Really make people angry.
Cactuses.
Oh, yeah.
Flowers.
Well, I know that our podcasters can't hear, but when you guys were talking about your pedals, I think I did see a little glaze.
Oh, yeah.
I think she glazed over just a little bit.
No.
Oh, where's being smart asses about the pedals? Because
Right.
it's funny. It's like,
Well, it was more my cat jumped up and I was like, oh God,
darn,
to
okay.
jump in the interview. But there might have been a little glaze. Yeah, no.
no, it's fine. It's just, it's more making fun of it because people do get ridiculous about all the
A little
effects. Like, what is it on? Is it like 4.5,
I don't know. Like, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I hit it with my foot by accident and it
It
changes.
sounds good right there. And that's really all that matters, man. It's just finding what sounds cool if it's a song.
As long as you like it, that's all that matters, man.
If you play your guitar
Yeah, I
upside
know.
down,
I just
whatever.
have my like pedals and I just have like black marks. I'm like, all right, this is where you need to turn it. You know,
Yep.
on all of them, just so
There
I
you go.
remember.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that at all.
One of the things I find funny, you did have the minor in like entertainment law. Do people hassle you all the time? Like, hey, Jessica, how's this thing look? Should we sign this?
You look at my contract?
Or have you ever used it to where you've been like, someone's tried to get you to sign something like, no, like this says this and this is not going to work.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've definitely personally used my pre-law. I mean, in contract situations for foot, but no one's ever asked me because I mean, I wish that would be cool, but I don't know a lot of people getting signed to labels.
Right.
When we get signed.
But I think that I would have went in a direction of like, all right, am I going to continue my education path and go to law school, or am I going to like do the music thing, which I chose the music thing. So when I graduated from college, I'd already interviewed and accepted a job with Daisy Rock Guitars.
Oh, hell yeah.
For artist relations and marketing.
Yes, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, so like 3 days after I graduated from college in Northern California, I moved to LA and I started working immediately in the industry. Yeah.
So that explains it. Because like I see, y'all play like, I feel like y'all play Los Angeles quite a bit. So it's like, all right, so that's like a second home for you, or a third now with Albuquerque.
It's definitely like where I left my heart in California. Like I loved my experience living in California. I lived there for 7 years. But LA, I love LA, but it's just so expensive. I had my experience there and it was great. But yeah, you got to make economical choices, especially if you're choosing music as your career.
So true.
In LA, I'm not on a label. I've always been just kind of like self-released. So, we pop in when we can there. But honestly, the whole LA shows and how that connection, that actually happened organically. It was in Fuzz We Trust, this blog. They had discovered our first album, Incantations, and that was 2019. And they kind of like featured us on their blog. And then I found out that they book shows at this one bar, Redwood Bar. And so I just kind of asked like if we could play there, and they said yes. And we built a tour around it. And then we played that show. And then someone at that show contacted the booker for the Viper Room, or someone that throws shows there. It was like, I think we've got this great band for you. And then that happened organically, and they reached out to us, and so that's how we got that Viper Room gig. And we're actually going to be playing there again in October. So it's pretty cool. But that just happened all on its own, through the music.
Just finding things through blogs and people.
Yeah.
Community. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. And definitely the first album was way more like fuzz driven and a little darker doomy. But that kind of genre, it really supported us in the beginning. I think as having like a female in a band, they don't really have a lot of that in that genre. So I felt very, very supported in the beginning, just in that niche. But then moving on, I found that we were only getting booked at metal shows, and I was only playing shows with men, which is no offense, but I want to also play with the women, and I also want to play softer music. I didn't want to have to be held to something to produce like the same thing on the second album.
Right.
And that's why the second album just kind of went in a completely different direction, because it was just kind of how I was feeling at the time, and hoping that I could expand our kind of music catalog so that we could play with all different types of musicians. And I think that really helped us out and get us even better bookings now.
Well, I think it's good to be able to do that, because, if it's rare and it's kind of boring if you find a band, you're like, every release just sounds like, oh, these could be the next 10 tracks on the first record.
Right.
You want it to be kind of like,
unless you're AC/DC, then I'm totally for it.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, that's okay. That holds.
They got it right.
But I agree with you.
It's cool to be like, this band went through this phase. Like, oh, if you like this music, this band has this phase. And
Right, exactly. Gives you something new to look forward to every time a release comes out, which is nice.
Well, people change.
Yeah. And so we're now just starting to write for a third album, but we're all in different musical places too. So it's going to probably sound a lot different as well. Yeah.
So is it something where now that you kind of got the band, I feel like I think because we've seen, you look at the records, you can see members changed. And then I feel like in the 2 years we've known of y'all, it's been the same lineup. Has it helped y'all write together? Do you kind of come in with riffs and songs and they build upon it? Or is it something where y'all each bring in pieces? I guess, what's the Cactus Flowers songwriting process like?
What's the formula, kid?
So we can steal it. No.
Yeah, right. No, you can tell me your formula. For me, again, I don't rely on having a huge guitar or musical background like that. So it takes me a little longer to craft my songs. And so I usually do the bulk of the songwriting by myself. And when I feel like the songs are ready to show to Mark, then I show to Mark, and Mark helps build upon the drums and the beat. And then I might start continuing to finish writing the song. And then John is just a professional musician. So he can really help with laying the structure and the bones. And also, which is huge, helping me edit, because I have a tendency of just writing run-on songs that just the song that never ended, because I'm oh, but I'm not done with my story yet. He's like, yeah, it's got to end though, wrap it up. Edit it down, but he's been great in that. And then also with the last album that we just did, because John was always our producer, and then he stepped into bassist role, and then we decided with the new album we would record with his business partner Steve Christensen, so that John could kind of take a step back and just kind of be in the bass role. And then Steve really helped with helping edit the songs too, or help with reworking different guitar parts that maybe were they're okay, but they could be better,
Yeah, Steve Christensen is a badass. I know him from when he was doing Midnight to Dawn sessions at Sugar Hill back in the day. And that guy from day one has always been a straight shooter and a creative force. And it's amazing how many people in the Houston area, and actually kind of across the country, have had him work on something, and they all say he's just the greatest guy. He brings a lot to the table, but he also has a really good ear for letting the song kind of grow on its own, which I've always felt was really cool. He lets you as the artist explore, and then he's there to be all right, now let's kind of bring it in a little bit with that soothing voice that he has, and you're like, yes, Steve, yes, we will.
Oh my God, is he like a therapist?
He really is. Uncle Steve is yeah, that's what he is.
That's great. He's a song
his name
therapist.
comes up a lot. Yeah.
Interesting.
We've never heard anything negative.
You can't get a sentence out of him without being dude. Yeah. He's a good vibes guy, all day long. Yes. So Steve and John, worked together for like 15 years at Sugar Hill. I know Steve was there longer, but that's how they know each other. And John also did those midnight sessions too, recording a lot of the Houston musicians. And then they decided to start their own studio. And that's the studio that they have now that we record out of. Yeah. So pretty neat.
Oh, yeah. I think we definitely need to talk to Steve. Like, we'll have her put in a good word for us and get Steve to come do an interview, because I think it'd be great to just talk to that dude. Like, with all the people he's worked with over the years, he's seen a lot. He knows a lot.
Well, I'm guessing that, jump back a little bit, being an artist relations person for Daisy Rock. Is it Daisy Rock Girl? Is that it? Daisy Rock Girl or Daisy Girl Rock?
Daisy Rock Girl guitars, yeah.
Okay, good. I did it right. Okay. You probably dealt with some interesting people. I mean, artist relations, were you getting them to like play the guitars? Was your job like, hey man, we need someone to come in and do like a cool custom guitar?
Yeah, I mean, I guess at the most, I had an artist roster of over 330 women.
Holy crap.
And tweens and kids and teens and women of all ages. And it was so cool to get to work with some of the top women guitarists in the industry. Yeah, the stories I have are wild. But my job role was really just to find like these female musicians and see if they would like a free artist endorsement, and basically just sending them a guitar. And because it was a small company, that's really all that we could offer. We're not like a Gibson or, a Fender where they like give their artists like, $50,000 like contract deals, but they like have exclusivity, so they can't play any other type of guitar but that guitar. So it's just kind of like being creative with how you could get the guitar in the right people's hands, and doing press releases and updating website, and just like dropping off guitars at music videos, photo shoots. Really cool stuff.
Sounds fun.
Dang it. She got to do all the cool stuff.
Well, she knew what she wanted to do early. She went to college. She studied hard. She worked.
Look, I went to college too. I just majored in a hobby, okay? It's not my fault.
Well, I did too, but I went with the business route and I got a job first.
Dang it.
But I wanted to do music in LA, and the thing was like, I couldn't get it going. Like, I couldn't find a band. I couldn't find people that were willing to play with me without paying them. Yeah. The LA locals are very protective of their scene. So they're not just going to create with anyone. So that was another major reason why I moved back to Houston, because I wanted to kind of like give it a go in the scene here, because it just seemed like at the time just way more approachable, way more friendly than what I was experiencing in LA as a musician. So that was a tough decision that I had to make, but it ended up working out.
I would say
and
so.
Now I get to full circle play in LA still, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Like, once you move away, people there accept you more. It's kind of funny. It's like, we want you to come back and play now that you're like, like 20 hours away?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
It's like Mike Jones said, back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. Y'all on me.
Right. Exactly.
Thank you. Nothing's better than a Mike Jones.
So I don't think it is, but I'm always, I don't know. I'm not, for not being a very good guitar player, I'm always like, ooh, that guitar looks super cool. And your guitar looks super cool. Like, I like the glittery, like Jazzmaster single pickup with the Telecaster headstock. So is that something, that's not a Daisy Rock Girl guitar, is it? Or is it something?
No, I started off the band and I was playing, I have quite a few Daisy Rock guitars, and I've always loved supporting Daisy Rock and any type of girl guitar brand, because like, one, they're representing women, but the whole thing about those guitars is they're lighter weight and they have a slimmer neck profile, so people with like small fingers, it's easier for me to like get around the fret, and it's way more approachable for me to be a guitarist. So I've always felt it very important to really celebrate those brands. I also had like a Gibson SG Goddess I have played in the rotation for a while that is pretty badass, but that one that I have is actually from a guitar maker. It's called Burley, and it's a guy out of Florida, and he does like one-off off guitars, and he kind of just like Frankenstein's guitars together. And we were on tour in Nashville at a guitar shop, Carter's Guitar Shop.
Heck yeah.
It's an amazing guitar shop. If you're ever in Nashville, I like highly recommend checking it out. And I just saw that guitar and I was like, oh my God, that thing's so cool. And then I went and we went to have lunch and all I could do was think about that guitar. So I went back and I was like, let me look at the fucking price tag. I was like, oh God, my heart. And then I was like, let me try it out. And then I fell in love with it. And yeah, I got it. And it's just like, honestly, like my baby now. I love it. It's got a P90 pickup in it. So it really helps like drive my effects pedals, like specifically my fuzz, and I pair it with my Magnatone amp now, because I've always kind of been like looking for like my amp, like what's my amp, and this one pairs really well with that guitar. So I think this is kind of my solid lineup for now.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, but yeah, it's got a sparkle.
It's the jazz master like that, those big P90s, man. Like
Hell yeah.
My Bloody Valentine, Dinosaur Jr., like all the really heavy fuzz bands were just like P90s.
Yep.
You get
Yeah,
that
and then like
sound.
Big Muff, like, you know, Siamese Dream Tone, you know, like, yeah.
Yep. Hell yeah. But part of you is hoping that the guitar sucked when you played it, right? So you could be like, oh, I didn't have to buy
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
how we
for
are.
real.
Yeah.
Please suck. That's a car payment, man.
Yeah.
I've been there, man. I've been
Yeah.
there big time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tim's been there watching me and having to be like, come on, let's go. It's like, but it's awesome.
No.
But I can't leave it. It's part of me now.
It's meant
But at
to
that
be.
guitar shop, it's like they have a wild collection of Gibson Les Paul gold tops for sale. Man, those price tags, whoo! Like you walk by them and there's like a sales associate walking up like, why are you, like, can I help you? Like, if you're not gonna buy this, don't breathe on it.
Right.
Type of vibe.
Can I see your credit score and your bank account? What?
Yeah,
I'm just walking by. I need to see both those.
$100,000 for a guitar,
Oh,
just
man.
sitting right there. Like, no.
Nope.
That's the kind of store my mom would let me go into when I was a kid. She would tape my arms to my side and say, "Don't touch anything." True story. Love you, Mom.
And I remember being on Westheimer and having to do the same thing. You had to go find like a sales associate to touch like a Rickenbacker, and you're like, and then, yeah, there I could imagine. Just like it's like at that time, it was like, oh, it's $1,000,
Right. That was big money.
Still is.
Not anyone can touch this. And then you go in, yeah, and
It's
it's like,
still a lot of money.
Yeah, true. True.
we start getting into classic guitar prices now, though, where it's like,
True.
oh, our friend Bill posts stuff like, oh, this one got this, 53 Les Paul or whatever. It's like $500,000. Price to move.
God.
Price to move. For who?
Somebody who's got $500,000 for a guitar they're never going to play.
Right. It's gonna
Oh
be
my,
in
yeah.
a case. God.
It's kind of like Mike Campbell from the Heartbreakers, bought, was it 52 or 53 Les Paul? And what he did was he bought it, didn't want to play it or bring it out. I mean, I guess he plays it in like studio stuff, but sent it to Gibson to have them replicate it.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, well, I just want one that's like it, and y'all figure out what makes it this, and just do your, aging stuff on it, and send me a twin of it.
Wow.
Okay, like, man, have that kind of money.
No
That's the guy
kidding.
who the $500,000 guitar is priced to move to. Right.
Probably.
Right. We've answered our question.
Yep, think so.
Like, golly.
So one cool thing is we have a lot of, I've noticed in recent times, like most of the bands that, just from going to shows, like the bands we're most excited about recently have been like female fronted bands. Like it's been a great time for Houston, like as far as really good bands are coming out that, I guess as we're getting older, it's a good thing because, man, it's like more people are putting their voice in where, for so long it did get like, it's this dude.
Yeah.
This dude's in this band, this guy's in that. But now, like the three off the top of our head, there's like you, there's Arda, and then I guess Rachel's in Pretty Vacant, but she's also playing with Quinn the Brain now. So it's just like there's a good little scene building up, or not even, a scene of.
And the three of us share a practice space together.
Oh, that's cool.
Great.
Yeah, we like supporting each other. I think like it's so important to support other female musicians. I think sometimes we get a bad rap of like it's like a competitive thing, and I don't feel like that. And I've always tried to lead with like supporting others. it's like just the way to go. Yeah.
Well,
and I love sharing a room with them, and they're doing so great things. Like I told Arda like years ago when I first met her, I was like, you're just going to keep doing great things and just keep at it, you know? And she's just killing it. They're killing it. And Rachel too. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's like a competition thing. I just think it's like, we've talked about it a couple times on different episodes. It's not that I want to compete with you. I want to do just as good as you. Because you're doing 6 great things, I should push myself to do great things. And it's that whole like, and it's not, I think people think it's competition, but it's not. It's like, if you do good, we do good. And like, it's that whole, like, this is our music community and we're here to support each other. And so I don't want to be the weak link of the community. And so that's what it is. It's just that whole thing. Like, we all rise together, you know? And I think it's good. Mm-hmm. I think it's good that you see the importance of, supporting each other, because like we've said, there was a long time when people would roll their eyes when a band rolled up and there was a female, if it was a drummer or a singer, like there was a lot of people who'd groan, and it's like, well, hold up, they haven't even done anything yet. Like, I have a friend, she was a student, her name is Nicole Wigington, and she's an amazing drummer, played for a band called Fox and Cats, and she went on to go to another band, and she's done like stuff with Seth Meyers on the Late Late Show or whatever. And, I remember she's this little skinny thing, and she gets up there and she beats the hell out of the drums. I mean, just an amazing drummer. And it's like, we were at shows, 10 years ago, and people would be like, oh, what is she going to do? And then she just goes and destroys, and they're like, holy shit, where'd she come from? I was like, she was here the whole time. You just, weren't paying attention. So I think it's great to see these female fronted groups or female involved groups that are taking the scene and doing something with it. So I applaud it. I'm happy to see it. I want more of it.
Well,
thank you.
I think what I love about this is something that, I'm a chick. So I talk to my best friend about this kind of stuff all the time. We have a relationship where we encourage each other. We are happy for each other when good things happen to the other. Mm-hmm. Not all female relationships are like that, and the fact that you guys support each other in a positive way is awesome, because not all female relationships are based on that. So
not all relationships.
Yeah, I think we all have had like experiences in different types of interaction with women, but leading with support and love is that's the path I choose. And it's just everyone should just be welcoming of each other. It's just natural to do that. Yeah,
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think for me, it's important because for everybody, because it's like this community, like there's a lot of, like we were talking with multiple people from the Houston area, there's really amazing bands in the area. So we always try to do our best to anytime anyone sticks a microphone in front of me, it's like, and go like, you should check out Cactus Flowers, Quinn the Brain, Shame on Me, Grizzlies and Chills. Like I just go as fast as I can and name every band that I love. Like Doobstress is awesome. You should check out this, because like there's really exciting stuff. And what's cool is I'm noticing even no matter what genre we go to, even we play mixed genre shows, everyone's like really supportive of each other. It's not a lot of like, I'm gonna go outside and smoke while y'all play, and then when y'all and then come in, and it's like, nah, dude, we're here to watch all the bands. Like, we're here to support the bill. Like, we're going to show up and do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think
I think that's really cool to do. And it was neat. I got to experience that the other night. I wasn't playing. I was bartending. I was bartending over at Big Top, but the Midnight Papers were playing, and they're a band that's been coming out to my shows, and they've been supporting other bands. And it was really cool to get to be there and support them. And, Arda came out, Arda and Clint, and I think some other local band, and just to see that they've also built that support and community. That's just everyone will show up for each other. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Maybe we are starting to get a music community in the Houston area finally. After so many,
well, it's like we said, as the tide rises, bring all ships up. I always compare it to the 4-minute mile. Like, it was impossible till someone did it. And then it was suddenly in the year after, 25 people did it.
Right.
And it's kind of that once you see a band that's in your scene, do these things and, come together, support each other. It's like, dude, we can all do this. We can all make a community and kind of build everyone up. But just, you have to have that example of it's not impossible to make this happen, to have a healthy scene where people are doing stuff to help each other and coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah, man.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Then it's good to have people, you look up to as well, man. Hopefully younger folks coming in will be like, yeah, that's how we should be. And it kind of keeps it going, keeps it healthy, man.
Fingers
crossed. You can hope. no.
Right.
I always just say like this little line, like create what you ain't, like I think initially we didn't really get booked a lot in Houston, but we just kind of would play like anything, like any DIY thing, anything, and just keep going and just like push forward and just be like who you are, and then the rest will fall into place. But I will say, like, we had a really good friend. She's not with us anymore. I don't know if y'all ever knew punk rock Stacy, who worked at Rudyard's, and she booked there, and we also worked together as bartenders. And she was a very, very good friend of mine. And when she started booking, she actually booked our first show at Rudyard's, and she like gave us a chance just because she's like, fuck yeah, another female musician, and I'll never forget that. That really started us being able to get more gigs, is because she supported us and gave us that chance.
Yeah, she was always really cool to us too, especially when we started going with things, because all of us coming from full bands, drummers and all that stuff, it's like we don't have like a full band. Where can we play stuff that's not like we're playing the folky place, or something, which is fine, but not that old yet. Like I don't want to play like this, the singer songwriter rooms like at a restaurant or whatever. It's like, no, like I still want to rock, but just we don't have a drummer or anything. But she was really cool, man. She let us play there quite a few times, so it was always really nice.
Yeah,
I met her through working with the Grizzly Band, man. She booked us a bunch at Rudyard's.
Yeah,
and she was always just super sweet. Man.
Yes.
Yay.
R.I.P. Stacy, pour one out. No.
Right?
Heck yeah, man.
Right.
I had her card in my wallet until like a couple months ago. I was like, oh well, so I guess it's time.
Oh yeah, that was a hard benefit show for me to play. I was like, tearing up.
It's especially sad now that Rudyard's doesn't do music anymore.
Yeah.
Oof, I wasn't even going to bring that up.
We'll do the dirty work.
It is sad. Yeah.
Well,
the scene is a-changing.
All intents and purposes, Black Magic is now like Rudyard's East with Mike and Joe there and everything. So it's kind of like...
Oh,
yeah. It
does work, yeah.
It's like they just moved. And I think part of the sound system's from Rudyard's. Like, I think they were hearing that. They were getting rid of some pieces. And they're like, we'll take it.
That's awesome.
We don't need big subs for comedians.
Yeah.
So
they don't need subs. They're telling jokes.
We don't need that much low end. Want them to be shrill.
Guess like upcoming for the band, September. I mean, we haven't announced any of it yet, so this will be announcement right now. No.
Okay.
But we're doing a Midwest tour in September, like a little run, and then we're doing a little run, a West Coast run in October, and that's about it right now. And then just writing for a new album. Because Steve's already bugging me, like, when are we going to get you on the books to do your new album? And I'm like, I just finished the last one.
I was about to say, Inhalation
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling the pressure.
It takes me a while to write these.
Get on it. I know, it's a process.
Right.
But, I'm very humbled that, to have someone like that bugging me.
There are definitely worse people.
I better get to work.
Right, yeah.
You can always just do an EP or something, just like, okay, here's a couple songs I got, but
just enough to wet your whistle,
You don't want to force it, though.
Yeah.
It's got to take your time. You got to ease into it, make sure it's right.
It's like, sit down and just play and be like, all right, that riff works. Like, okay, save it.
Yeah.
Save that riff.
And then there's the...
Yeah.
That was killer. I'll definitely remember that one.
And you don't.
Like, that's not how it goes at all.
Famous last words, man. Golly.
My cell phone
In May,
fine.
we opened for a band called Levitation Room, and that was like such a great gig. And I think the drummer really inspired Mark to try like all these different styles of drumming and using these, like, he's been messing around with the mallets and everything, and he's been making some really cool shit lately. So I think I'm going to kind of just record some of his drum beats and just start writing off of that and see what we kind of like organically start coming up with. Yeah.
Some inspirations.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's super cool. I know a lot of people who do that. Like, we're going to work out drum beats. We're going to do this and then see where it goes. Because if you have that little bit of rhythm, it's easier. We kind of, if you're trying to riff on something.
Yeah.
How's that go again?
I don't care. I make sound effects, man. Okay.
You're so cute. You're so cute.
Sometimes I can come up with riffs just by sitting at work being like, what if it was like, dun, 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 and I can...
Mouth riffs.
Oh, no, I do that too. I'll be like humming the riffs in my head. And then I'm like, that's it. That's going to be a hit. And then I'm like, get to my guitar and I'm like, how do I play it? What's in my head?
See, that's the same way. It's like, I got to find this
That's always
note.
a fun adventure. That was kind of how I wrote I See in Auras. And I was like, where is it?
See, it just makes you realize I could do that. I could put like, next time I hum something like that, I can just pull it up and like Melodyne or something. Like, oh, it's these notes. That's what I'm playing on guitar. Okay. So I never thought about that. Normally I'm just sitting there like, nope, it's not A, but it's not A sharp. Like,
Sit down in front of the piano.
it's between these two, so we'll just move it up, and then it's this. Yep. Sit down in front of the piano. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not professional. Come on now.
I can go ding, 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 ding.
Clink, clink, clink.
I can play chopsticks really well.
So, speaking of odd instruments, I do know that you played classical violin for a long time.
That's not an odd instrument, though.
Yeah.
Well, odd in the rock realm.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
I think I started when I was in 4th grade.
Oh, nice.
And I played all the way through high school. And most of the time I was like first or second chair. I was definitely more second or third chair by the end of high school. And then I went to college and I just wanted to play in the orchestra. I wasn't going to be in the music program. And I had a really good attitude about it. So the conductor let me in the orchestra, but I had to sit last chair, second violin. So it was very humbling.
Wow.
But I kind of loved it because I had like the best seat in the house. And because I wasn't like a music major, like he didn't ride me or anything like that. I just got like to participate. So I got to play for 4 years in the symphony in college. And it was honestly the best time ever. And one day I accidentally left my violin in my friend's car. And all the cars in this car's parking lot were broken into and my violin was stolen. And I never played again.
Oh, my God.
That's horrible.
Well, that answers the follow-up question.
That does definitely answer the follow-up question.
And I just kind of was already playing, guitar. So I just like focused more in on that. But it just really broke me and I was heartbroken. And so I just
So you've never
let it
picked
go.
Again? Wow.
But you wouldn't have that money for the guitar in Nashville if
See?
you had bought a new violin. So
That
it all
is
worked
true.
out.
See, universe has
It's
a plan.
true.
That was the plan.
Yeah.
You guys are just encouraging your own craziness. You know that, right?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Totally
Yes.
okay with that.
All right.
We're down.
What was going to be your follow-up question? How I went from violin
No,
to
do you?
guitar.
Are you? Like,
Do you still play?
Do you ever do anything? Do you see it making it into any of your stuff? And you're just like, and then that was the end of that.
That was the end. Yeah.
It was very
I thought about like getting a violin and maybe trying to like teach myself fiddle because fiddle is just completely different than classical violin.
Yeah.
And like I was always like taught like, no, you're not supposed to do that with your violin. I came from a very, very, very classical background. So I've always thought about it would be cool to like try to pick that up but like learn fiddle, like not go back to classical. So something I thought like, yeah, maybe I'll do that. But I've always told myself like when I'm done with Cactus Flowers, I'm going to go country. So I'm going to save that for my country album.
Well, it's funny because Liz, like, that plays on our stuff with Urban Pioneers, and she plays fiddle, like, for everybody, but she was very classically trained. Like, I know that from her husband, Jared, telling us that he was, like, she was just killer. And then, I wonder how, I guess it may have been maybe at home she was allowed to play fiddle. She had to hide it from her orchestra people.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Don't do that. God,
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that there is a Houston band that does have a rock band that has a violin in it. So
Which band would that
can
be?
be done.
Who would that be, Kim?
Blue October. I'm just saying.
I thought you were going to say Fiddle Witch.
Oh, like of course, like Fiddle Witch. Like
Yes.
I mean, Joe Bird.
Yes.
She's amazing. Yeah.
2-Star Symphony, which is Joe Bird as well. But I remember coming up playing like and being in like really loud punk bands. It was always like really just messed with our head to be put on a bill with 2-Star Symphony. I was like, they're real musicians.
Right, they're like cultured and shit.
How do I don't know what to do with my hands.
It's just like we're like Jun. It's like they were playing real notes and like chamber music and stuff, and
They were good, like real good.
everyone's gonna know we suck now. Like there was this
They were so good.
No. I think about that every time I play too. So I mean, I think it's just like it's just a musician thing.
It's the curse, man. Like we always think we're on the cusp.
In our heads.
Oh yeah, we're always on the cusp of being called out for frauds. Well, you're a fraud. I knew it.
Imposter syndrome. Totally.
I tell myself it's a good thing because if I ever believe I'm any good, then I'll stop striving to be better. So
Sure, that's like getting Wordle on the first try.
then I quit.
I'm done with this game.
Yeah. Once I do it, I'm done.
All right. So we're approaching an hour, and I'm sure you're like, I want to get out of here. So we're gonna. I didn't prep you at all for this, so you're welcome. We always ask everyone a last question. Well, there's two last questions. This is the second to last question that Helf's going to ask.
Yep.
And it goes something like this.
All right. So second to last question. A list of 3 to 5 local regional artists that you feel more people should be listening to. They can be like, our level, bigger, a little bit bigger. I mean, but just bands that are individuals that you really like their music, digging them right now, and you think more ears need to be listening to what they're playing.
I can think of this one right now, and I can't think of their name. God, I'll send you a DM because I just saw them play at Big Top, and they were really good. It was I think there were 4 guys in it, and it was really groovy, psychedelic, and super young. I'm gonna look up what their name is, but I want to play a show with them. I think they're great. I definitely think more people should know about them, and I can't even remember their names. So
It's okay. We can come back in and voice over later.
Let's add that to the closing note.
Yeah. Let's see. I really like, of course, Quinn the Brain. You pretty much say all the ones that I think of. Rena's is really good live. I love Mother Ghost. I've been supporting them for so many years now, and they just came out with a new album, and it's just absolutely killer. So I highly recommend them. And then my friends in Austin, they're in a band called Intensive Care Unit, and I'm obsessed with them right now. So those would be my picks.
That's a great name.
I love it.
No, but that's good. That's the whole point, trying to get people, that people should check out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then we'll listen to them hassle and be like, you should be on our podcast. Jessica did it.
He's right. Your friend Jessica did it. He's not that bad.
I mean, yeah, you should definitely hit up the Mother Ghost guys. I don't know if you've seen their live set, but they're amazing. They're so creative, and their album is really good that they came out with. I was in their music video. I'm wearing a little alien mask, so you won't be able to know it's me. But you'll see the guitar, and you'll be able to see.
I know that guitar.
Okay, yeah. I have I have the EP they did with Mine. So yeah, I was trying to remember. I know that name. I think I've heard them. So yeah, we talked to Jeff from Mine, and they did a split a while back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This whole podcast is just a pyramid scheme to find more people to talk to.
It's what it really is.
I just,
I love that about y'all. You're always just supporting the scene, and you're really great Houston advocates for local musicians. So it's I appreciate what y'all do, and thank you, for always supporting local bands, and then always just trying to find more and more and more. It's pretty neat.
We appreciate it. Like I said, just good to get. We believe in everyone around here, and it's people there's really cool stuff happening. It's y'all should all look at it. It's happening here,
right?
And
appreciate it, because there are cities that don't have good music setups we are starting to get. We've been through some of those towns where the people are so desperate for music that they'll show up on a Tuesday night
to see us.
See us. And you're we're nobody.
We need to find more. Artistically deprived places like this.
Indeed. That's our target demographic.
This will do. Yes.
Yes. This
good
suffices.
I need to find the town equivalent of Kim, who's just I'll settle. It's fine. It's been a long life.
Right.
Oh my God.
You're good enough for this last chapter. I'll just settle.
Beats being alone, I guess.
No, it doesn't, first of all.
She's being honest.
Right.
It doesn't. But, having a partner who's into the same things you're into and likes to travel and wants to make music with you, that's a pretty cool thing to share. So,
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm pretty lucky.
And I love that y'all get to do that. And I get to do that with John, my bass player. So it definitely makes the relationship like fun.
Yeah,
Man, what's that like to not be the third wheel?
pretty cool.
I don't know. Ask Mark.
I feel like me and Mark could have some long conversations.
Yeah.
Start like the-
Mark, you're gonna have some beers and some stories.
It's like you, Mark, you get maybe Jules and a couple other people start like
Like the third
we're the
wheels.
third wheel people in the band.
There you go.
Support club. No.
Here we are. We should just figure out how to do that skit. I should get with Messiah about doing a skit.
That needs
like
to happen.
that. Yeah.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
good, like I'm in a married couple band. It's just I'm the other person.
I'm the awkward guy in the focus.
I never expected to be in a band with a boyfriend, but here we are.
Yeah, no, me neither.
It's working out pretty good, I would say.
Sometimes
It's
it works out
going
great.
great. So far, so good. Bassist number 4. He's a hit.
He's a keeper.
He's a keeper of my heart.
Aw.
See, that's the impressive thing. Is normally it's the drummer that's the hardest to keep around. So
That is true,
did
yeah.
that. Like you accomplished some pretty
Yeah.
big things with this band.
Right.
Well, we started off as a 2-piece,
Yeah.
which was fun. But I will tell you what, like Mark, I give him so much props because, being a female musician, a lot of people didn't want to play with me or start a band with me or give me a chance because before they would even hear me, would just judge me that I wouldn't be good and I'd be awful. And Mark was kind of the first person that really gave me a chance and let me just create and be me. And it really helped me develop my songwriting and everything. So like I always give like Mark so much like props and respect.
Shout out to Mark.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's my homeboy.
I don't know. It's always disappointing to hear that people are just dicks that way. So.
I know it does. It does. It bums you out a bit because it's like, what are you proving?
I know.
It's
I
the
just
same-
want to play music and be friends.
Like, music is not an exclusive club, kids. It's not like when we had to have the members only jackets. That was a whole thing.
None of us are cool.
No. Hell no.
It's like growing up, especially in the Houston like punk scene and stuff. It was like, we had bands like the Applicators and then how was the other band that used to play from New Mexico all the time? I'll say the Hatchbacks, but I don't think that's it. There were all these killer like either completely female or female guitar players or things like that. And it was like, it wasn't weird. It was like, well, yeah, that's just it's the, I get to have my night of being the, like the, what's it called? Like teen beat kind of thing. Like, oh my God, she's so cute. She rocks. And you don't get that as a guy a lot of the times.
True.
You just have to be there like, that dude's cool, While all your female friends are like, oh my God, Butch from 30 Foot Falls is the cutest. He has a butterfly tattoo. And you're like, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
So it's good to have that.
I have tattoos.
It's good to have. Oh, no, not at this time. I didn't. I wasn't cool. I was still in high school. As opposed to now that I'm super cool.
Totally.
And I have a podcast.
You do. You have a podcast.
I don't know if you know anyone else.
And tattoos.
Right.
Living your
in a
best life.
band and you play
So
guitar.
cool.
Dude, if high school you could see you now, he'd be stoked.
So the last question is like, on a 1 to 10, how cool do you think? No. No, the last question is normally always like, is there anything we missed that you want to throw out? Anything that we've, neglected to learn about you tonight?
Oh, man. I mean, not that I can think of.
We've covered a lot of ground with this interview, dude.
We did. We just like to make sure that we, if there was something you wanted to cover that we didn't talk about.
You're like, by the way, like I have this
I'm
coming up. You
awesome.
already covered upcoming shows. And
Yeah,
everything,
she took
so
care of that.
Whatever.
I'll tell you a story though. I'll tell you one of the coolest experiences I had working in the music industry.
yeah,
You
I
wanna
love that.
hear
Since it's the end of the interview, we'll call it Jessica's bedtime story. Tell us the story.
Bedtime story.
Jessica's bedtime story.
Oh, that's great.
So one of the artists that we got to work with Daisy Rock was Robert Smith from The Cure, because he famously had one of the heart-shaped guitars that the president had given him, and her husband was the head of Schecter Guitars. So they endorsed him. So he was coming in with The Cure, the whole band. They were going to be playing the Jimmy Kimmel show. And before they played, we all all got to go out to dinner with them, and it was amazing. And I said nothing because I was in shock. And his wife is so beautiful in one of those like gothic Lolita dresses or whatever. And then it was the taping for Jimmy Kimmel, and it was supposed to be outside, and it was raining. So everyone that waited for the show, they were going to be doing a private studio taping. And because we were there, they let us like be the random people in the audience to watch it.
Nice.
So I got to watch Robert Smith, the whole Cure, play a 10-song set, like standing right there.
Oh my God.
And that was like my coolest, like, oh my God, I made it moment. Like, it was like coolest thing ever.
Wow.
I know, man. Outside the cameras, it's like basically I saw the Cure at the big top, basically, like scale wise.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a club show. It's not a big deal. That's what I do.
It's just, you know,
That's crazy.
just a day at the office in my world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was just more like I can die now moment. So
Right.
I don't even need to be a musician. Like, I'm good. Life has been great.
Right.
That's where you walk out. Like, my job is awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Thank you
That
for
was a
sharing
fun
that.
one. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
like getting to go to Disneyland completely shut down with like Vicky Peterson from the Bangles and a bunch of people. The Bangles were a huge supporter of Daisy Rock. So getting to work with them was always like really special too.
That's cool.
I know it is
Yeah.
super cool. I know I'm just doing.
And I hope now you can go to bed.
Thank you. That is no. It's like, but now I'm too excited. I'm too stoked on the story.
Tell me more.
This is
Tell
not
me
a
more.
very good. All right, we're gonna wind down with this tale. You're like, oh my God! Like I did. Close thing I did get to shoot a Cure show at the Toyota Center, so I've been that close to Robert Smith.
There you go. There you go.
We can start our close to Robert Smith club.
Dude, it's like 6 degrees of Robert Smith.
I'm telling you, man, that's a dude that like does not get the credit he should for being like a pretty killer guitar player. And like he never is like, oh, top guitarist Robert Smith. Is like, yeah, just because you don't understand, dude. That dude's killer.
Yeah. Agreed.
So that's just we'll end it there. It seems like
Don't worry. It'll be much more put together than this at the end.
no,
I'm
that's
sure
exactly
you'll
how it's
figure it
ended.
out.
We're just going to end it here.
We're just gonna end it on that. Like, are they big Robert Smith fans?
Fuck it.
Well, no, because we always end it on Kimberly.
Bye.
All right, y'all. That does it for this week's episode of Music in the Minor League. We hope you dug it. 50 episodes, man. We started doing this. We know we were going to do it for a while, and we finished that first season, and we were really kind of like, it's feeling good, man. Let's see if we can do it. And we kept it going, and we're really grateful that y'all kept coming back and listening, and it stayed a worthwhile venture, man. That's the most important thing. We put in a lot of time between playing shows. There's plenty of practices that we don't get to have because we're having to record an episode. So, man, we're really grateful for y'all for giving us a listen, man. It means a lot. So before we go, as always, tell friends about it. Help us get the word out. We appreciate it. If you want to be on the podcast, if you're in a band or anything, just let us know, man. We'd love to talk to you. And with that, we're just going to end it now, man. We're going to head out with another track from Cactus Flowers' new album called Elation. This one's called Jaime. Hope you dig it. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.